Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today's episode, I just want to give you a quick intro on our guest this evening. His name is Eric Riaz, and I didn't know Eric before we sat down. I was following him on Instagram, and he's always so inspiring, very inspiring. So I reached out. He's from San Diego, California. He's in recovery. He's not only a lifestyle coach, but also a mental health advocate. He has his own podcast called HOE, H-O-E, Hearts Over Everything. I love it. It's great. You guys have to check it out. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's into health and fitness and all kinds of things. And I'll give you all the links in the description below so everyone can check out all of his stuff. It was a pleasure, an absolute pleasure. Great guy. I hope you enjoy the video.
I really appreciate doing me an honor. I've been following you since mid-January. I actually I don't know, I was just feeling a little down in the dumps one day, and I'm just, feeling sorry for myself like I do sometimes, I get into a little rut and forget that faith over fear thing. And I don't know, I put a little thing up and you just answered it in a few short words. I feel you, friend, on this one. And so I started checking out some of your podcasts and YouTubes, and wow, you inspire me, my friend. You
Oh,
like,
thank you.
I honest to goodness, like, you're a coach, you're a recovery coach, you're a mental health advocate, you are a physical fitness guru. All of these things.
Yeah.
But what I found so fascinating, Eric, obviously, because my channel is all about recovery, is that you are in recovery and you've achieved all these things, or are striving to achieve all these things on a daily basis. And that's what I love. That's what I absolutely love. So thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here,
Thank you so much. That was great.
I know that you talk every day on your podcast, but could you tell my listeners a little bit about where you're coming from as far as the recovery goes?
My life was ruined. And I didn't really have much of a teenage life or a childhood because of my addiction. I started using when I was 12.
Okay.
And got sober when I was 23. And from the start of my use to the end of my use was straight up hardcore use every day. And I could think of the fun times, but really it was a disaster.
Okay. Yeah, like most of us, right?
The whole time it was a disaster. I was still never comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. So what did you decide to do? Did you make the decision yourself at 23 to get sober, or was it made for you?
No, well, it has to be made. You have to make it yourself. But my mom offered to send me to treatment, and I took the opportunity to go to California and go to treatment, and I never looked back.
I love that. But I feel like we get these daily reprieves, Eric. And I'm always striving for spirituality. And I love to listen to different things and how people try to achieve it. And I was listening to one of your podcasts the other day, and I'm like, yes, yes. Did it come right away for you, or was it a gradual thing?
Oh, it's gradual. My belief in God started when I got sober, and also, to be honest, in my addiction, there was a lot of psychedelics and things like that. So I always had a firm grasp that like something else was going on. You know what I mean? That thing else going on. And I fully believe that. I've had those experiences enough times to believe that. But when I got sober, love saved my life. And I always say we can't taste love, we can't smell it. It's not something tangible as in regards to the five senses, but we can feel it. And everybody knows it exists.
Absolutely.
And to me, that was a very easy conception of God. So I had a God, but I didn't develop a relationship. My first 3 years of sobriety, I was self-will run riot. I was still wild. And then around 4.5 years, a guy said to me, "Have you tried meditating?" And I thought it was so patronizing. I was like, "How dare you minimize my problems to sitting still?" And at year 5, I was so desperate sober that I decided I'm going to give this meditation thing a try. And sometimes I would meditate 5 times a day to get to learn. And it's become a daily practice. And some people add the metaphysical to their meditation. Some people just do it for the neurological benefits. But I added the metaphysical and started understanding about my consciousness and started understanding about the way my heart worked. And now, years later, my meditation can bring me to tears. My meditation can draw out a raw emotion. My meditation can be, visual within my mind. I can see things. I intuitively know how to handle situations.
That used to baffle us.
You know the language I'm using.
I do.
So I just have gone deeper and deeper and deeper, and I almost seek spirituality more than I seek anything else. I just don't want. In a perfect world, I would be less influenced by the world and more influenced by God. So that's always what I'm striving for. When I say God, I always say it's just because I'm lazy. It could be whatever Christ consciousness, samadhi, whatever you want to call God consciousness. That's what I'm seeking, and I do whatever I need to do to seek that and to achieve that. And I'm always wrestling my ego. I'm always wrestling my ego is never going away. So it's a constant, mush down. I'm mushing this thing down in order to allow light and consciousness to come through, which is a challenge.
Yeah, but you recognize that, and that's wonderful. A lot of people don't. They just keep on going. But when you can recognize that sometimes the ego is getting in the way, because I never did before like I do now. Like, what do you like to identify the most with? Are you a recovery coach? Are you a mental health advocate? Like, I see all these things that you're doing and I'm like, wow. Or are they all incorporated into one? Like, I even saw that you would go and live with somebody to help get them sober. Like, I'm like, what? Wow.
Yeah, I'm a mental health and recovery advocate. If I had to wrap it all up with what I do with the podcast, I'm advocating for us, people like us, with what I'm doing with coaching, what I'm doing with case management with clients, what I'm doing with transportation or companionship living with clients. It's all advocating for them. That's what it all comes down to, is that I'm a mental health and sober advocate. And even in my community, I'm still trying to advocate and speak up for all of us. Some people don't always have the words or can't articulate it the way they like to. So every time I speak publicly in whatever community, I'm hoping to convey a point that other people may not be able to convey with their own words. So I would consider advocate.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I saw that you wrote a book Well, no, what did you say? You didn't write a book?
I didn't write a book. It's a 10-step inventory for normal people.
For normal people.
Wake up in the
whatever normal is.
Whatever normal is. But wake up in the morning, set intentions, ask to be try to be guided through the day, reflect at the end of the night, see where you fell short, and over 90 days. That's what the book is. But I'm actually writing my book starting next month. That will be this year's project. My actual story will come out, because even though I'm young, even my recovery story is very interesting. It was not linear for me. There's a lot of mental health challenges in my recovery. That's why the mental health piece is so important to me, because I struggled so greatly even in recovery. I went to outpatient treatment with 3 years sober. So it's not like, I know this experience, and I know the sex addiction piece. I just have a broad spectrum of experience in life, and I want to put it on paper. I have kids. I want my kids to be able to read my book, no matter how raw it is, and I want them to know their dad.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I do. I feel like I started doing this thing. I'm a recovering alcoholic and cocaine user, and and going to different meetings and stuff, there's so many addictions and so many addictions. And I truly believe over the past 11 years, I've learned a lot. And I truly believe that a lot of it is coincides with mental health. issues.
Definitely.
It's the, the stinking thinking, and, any way anybody wants to get any help, I'm all for. I'm all for it. But I mean, even when I started in recovery,
Definitely.
I fought it. I didn't want it. I didn't want to feel like crap in the morning anymore. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I didn't want to do the work. I was tired, and so I
Yeah.
didn't want to do the work. Yeah.
Yeah, that resonates with me. I didn't want to do the work my first couple years. I just didn't want to do heroin anymore.
Yeah.
That was all. I knew I didn't want the life I was living, and I just, as long as I feel like as long as you stay sober, your life will improve. But you may feel like shit,
Yeah. Yes.
because you don't have a solution yet
I
to
totally
this
agree
hole
with
in your heart.
Yeah.
And took me a few years to start filling that hole with the right things.
Well, I applaud you. You're doing so much, so much.
Thank you.
But I love your compassion. I really do. And I really feel when you say, they are you and you are them. I really truly believe that you are, doing God's work, Eric.
Oh,
And
thank you so much.
I really do. And honestly, thank you so much for doing this with me. This was
Of
fun.
course.
I get to know somebody that I don't know, but I admire, and I've been following you. And when I asked you, I was like, oh, I don't know. He doesn't know me, maybe, but you were like, anytime. And thank you.
Oh,
That was very gracious of you.
anytime. I this is what I love to do. I love communicating.
Awesome.
I'm a communicator. So that's what anytime I get to convey this experience for people like us, or people, just humans in general, when I get to convey the human experience, I seize the opportunity.
Well,
I
I
just want
love
to
that.
share.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
you
And I'm going to put up on the channel, I'm going to put
so
up
much.
your all your links and your podcast and your Big Moo TV and your book, everything. I'm going to put it all up there so everybody can check you out and enjoy you as much as I do.
Oh,
And keep doing what you're
thank you
doing. I
so
love
much.
it, Eric. I love it. You take
I
care of
appreciate it.
yourself. All right.
All right,
I'll see you
likewise.
soon. Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.